Hey guys, Eric from Conscious Health. I'm gonna start making more long form videos. I get tons of questions. As you might know, I have 320,000 followers. I make lots of conscious health videos, and I've been a health coach for years. So I get tons of messages, tons of questions, and I have tons of knowledge to give. Today, we're gonna talk about how you say no to having your baby vaccinated. And from 2, 4, 6, how do you keep your child unvaccinated? Okay, I could go really deep into a long story why we didn't do it, but we're not going to do that. We had already decided before my son was born that he wasn't going to get any shots. And of course, my son's born. They want to give him a shot right off the beginning. I think it was hepatitis, but I stood solid right there. I said, we're not doing any shots right now. She's like, everybody does it. The nurse said this. And I knew in my head I wasn't going to do it. I had seen my friend's son develop autism after the MMR vaccine, and it wasn't going to happen. I had printed out a binder of stuff because I wanted to show my parents, show my family that these are all the reasons I didn't want to do it. And I wanted to really do the research. So I told them no. So they brought this doctor in, Middle Eastern guy. And he's like, let me talk to them. So he closed the door and he says, I have 3 children. All 3 of my children have never had one vaccine. He says, this hospital gets paid if you vaccinate your child today. If you don't want to do it, stay solid. And I was like, oh, wow. So he opens the door. Nurse comes out and she's like, so what did we decide? I was like, we're not doing it. She's like, oh. And the doctor just kind of walked out. So that's how it was at birth. I just stood solid with it. You don't have to do it, and they will pressure you. They tried to pressure us. But basically, when you make a decision in your mind, let me turn around because there's so many, whatever, let's keep going. So, and then, I decided that we didn't need to do the wellness visits. And I know a lot of parents do the check-ins. You guys got to remember that every time your child gets a jibby jab, the doctor's office gets paid. So it works on percentages. So if 70% of their patients get the vaccine, they get this much money. If 80%, if 90%, they get this much money. And this is coming from the drug companies. We could get really deep into this, but think about it. More shots they get, more heavy metal they get, more stuff they get in them, more likely they're going to develop an illness. And that's where the real money comes in. So we just didn't do wellness visits. I think my son, like I say, my son had only seen a doctor once. We were in Costa Rica and he got bit by a bug that swole up and really swole up because we don't even know what kind of bug it was. And we went there. Yeah, we went there and we just it was like a cream and that. I was thinking, but then when we went to put him to school in Costa Rica, it said that the Costa Rican government has required that all children get the vaccine or get a vaccine or get their schedule or whatever. So I went personally and I talked to the principal and I told him it goes against our beliefs, goes against what we want to do with our child. I kind of regret doing that because what that did, it is open kind of a debate. Because then he wanted to know this. And then at the end of the conversation, I just said, well, we're not doing it. I said, it's not happening. So I learned a lesson there that you don't really want to get in that situation where you're debating. And then when we came back to Canada, that was another thing too, is the school wants to do, I think it's the MMR and a couple vaccines. So what they do here in Canada is they send a form. The kid brings it home, the parent signs it, and then they can get vaccinated at school. I remember getting it at school. Keep in mind that when I went to school, we only got half as many as they get today. So what we did is we didn't sign it. And I emailed the teacher. And I said that my son only gets vaccines through his doctor. He has some weird allergies. See, why did I do this? Because I didn't want to debate. And I also said in the email that we keep our medical records private. And that's how I ended it. And all I got reply was a reply, okay, Eric, thanks for letting us know. And that was the end of it. So the day that they did the vaccines, I kept my son home from school. I didn't want, like, everybody's going into the gym to get the vaccine. I didn't want that to happen to my son. So what we did is we just kept my son home. And that was pretty much the end of it. So going forward for you, I don't know if you, I get this question quite a bit, but if your child is already like 3 or 4 and had a few vaccines, you can stop now. You don't have to keep doing it. The thing is, you don't have to do these wellness visits. If your child's fine, stop going there. You don't want your child to develop. Like me growing up too, I had all my vaccines, but I always had crazy ear infections. I always had sinus problems. I was not a healthy kid. Thank God I didn't have any allergies. But the thing I want to mention too is when I went to school, we had no disabled kids in grades K to 12. My son now, there's an autistic kid or 2 in his class. There's 2 autistic kids in almost every single grade. So, and that's very, very common now. And we could get deep into that topic, but what I'm saying is you don't have to do it. If you've done the research, if you've made the decision that your child is not getting injected with mercury and all these aborted cells and all these different things they put in there, stick solid with your choice. Don't let anybody talk you into it. As a parent, this is your choice. And I had made this choice for my son that this is what we were sticking to, and we did. And I'm gonna be honest, I am so happy I made that decision. And as you guys know, I post a lot of stuff about the vax. Never once have I regretted not giving them the shot. We lived in Costa Rica, Panama, and Nicaragua. And when we were moving there, people told me, your son's unvaccinated. He's gonna get yellow fever and typhus and all this. My son didn't get anything. Every shot they take is a risk. I'm gonna leave it there. So basically, I hope that helps a little bit. And now when I get a DM asking me this, I'm just gonna send them this video. Much love, you guys. Take care.